All right, we are live, and it is the first show of 2025. People, welcome back to the experience. We've been out for a while. We haven't done a show in a year. Sorry. But welcome back, people. Justin's shaking his head like, God damn it. But welcome back to the show, people. We were happy to see you back. We hope you're happy to see us back. And you already know who I am. I am Drew, and with me, as always,
Justin from Spinebuster Tees and SpinebusterTees.com.
Yes, sir. We got a doozy here for you tonight. We got some big shows to cover. The Netflix debut of WWE Raw, New Year's Evil NXT, which was yesterday, and we will go over the 3-hour SmackDown debut. I will, if Justin's up to it, maybe even do a Dynamite review because I actually watched Dynamite tonight.
Well, you're reviewing the show. As I said before we recorded, I didn't watch the show. I was making T-shirts for the shop, so all I saw was the last literally 5 minutes of the show. I have no idea what happened, so I have no opinion on the show if it was good or not. So
I did watch the show, people, believe it or not. I watched it from beginning, middle, end. Didn't just watch in the background. I actually watched it, paid attention. Didn't take notes, but I will take notes next time. I told Justin on the pre-show, my New Year's resolution will be to cover AEW as much as I cover WWE. And by cover AEW, I mean not only watch Dynamite, not only watch the pay-per-views, even, God help me, watch Collision, and this is going to be the end of me, Ring of Honor.
No, Drew, stop it. No. You know.
You know what? I'm going to commit to it. I'm going to commit to it, people.
Look.
By the end of the year...
Look, you have a chance to backtrack at least on the Ring of Honor right now.
God damn it. I want to commit. I like a challenge. I want to challenge myself. So by the end of the year, if I had consumed every single hour and second and minute of AEW media... which includes television.
Does that include what is it called? Hey EW with fucking RJ City?
No, fuck that. No. There's only so much.
You said consume all of AEW media, and that's part of the media. Is their YouTube channel?
I'm backing out of that. I'm gonna.
Okay.
Negate that. I'm talking about wrestling shows.
You don't have to watch Ring of Honor.
Okay, maybe not. Maybe not Ring of Honor.
All right. Okay.
Maybe I'll catch a second, but as far as like the main AEW,
that's fair.
Maybe I might check out NWA. I heard the previous NWA show was decent. But as far as like wrestling goes, I want to try and consume as much wrestling, and not just WWE. I want to see what the haps is, as the kids would say, in other companies. So. But yeah, I will be watching more AEW this year, and I will be taking notes. And by the end of the year, I will have more knowledge on the current product. So God help me. All right, so we got some shows to cover. Where do you want to start first?
Where you feel that's where you want to start. Where you feel that's most intriguing to the audience here.
I guess as far as intrigue goes, I mean, it's obviously the Raw debut on Netflix. Okay, I'm not seeing... Okay, on this is weird. Say something?
Hello?
Okay. So I have OBS open on the YouTube Live control panel. I already started the streaming, but it's not showing that it's connected. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me go on YouTube.
Absolutely.
See if it's already happening. I mean, it's showing that it's live. Oh, we have 2 new subscribers. We have 3 more subscribers. Welcome. Awesome. All right. Sorry.
Are they from today?
Yeah, I get. Yeah, look. I just looked on, and because we had I think 128, and now we have 131. So cool.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So welcome to the show, people. But anyways, let's get back to business. So the Raw debut on Netflix. Hey, how you doing? Say hi to my cat. Raw debut on Netflix on Monday, which was a big show. They treated it like a big show. They treated it like a pay-per-view, as they should. Um, I guess before we get into the actual show itself, what was your opinion on the presentation of the show?
Thought the presentation was a much up needed facelift for the show, for WWE. So from the drone cameras to the new black remat with the advertisements on there, to the referees, again, a little update in there, their attire, to the announce table now having LEDs looking very modern. The announce tables really haven't had updates since 1998, really. Um, so
Mm.
I thought the presentation was excellent. You know what I mean? And again, the presentation was also for brand newcomers as well, for people who may not seen the product in years or probably never watched wrestling before at all. So I thought the presentation was good as it was going to be. Yeah.
It reminded me just a little bit of Saturday Night's Main Event in a sense where they're not just catering to the WWE fans; they're catering to a bigger audience. They want to bring in, fans that either don't watch the product or fans that haven't watched the product in 20 years.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because going back to Saturday Night's Main Event, I saw people on Twitter saying I had a friend that hasn't watched wrestling since the '90s, and
Right.
she saw Saturday Night's Main Event. Now she's a fan again.
Right.
Same thing with Netflix. Because just to kind of backtrack a little bit, so I got a VPN. So whenever you switch the VPN server to the UK, you get UK Netflix, and UK Netflix
Right.
has everything.
Yep.
It has all the weekly television shows like Raw, SmackDown, NXT. You get the live pay-per-views, and you get an archive of all the other pay-per-views and Raws and blah blah blah. And when we were watching Raw on Monday, they have ads, which I think everybody kind of expected. Um, it got kind of annoying after a while because it's like, do you like beer in America? We'll drive a Toyota. It's like, okay. So I just decided to mess around with it and switch the server. Much better, a little bit better because they had ads, but it was more so ads and promos pertaining to WWE, where they would show packages hyping up the match. They would have wrestler profiles
Right.
just to get people in tune with the product, which I thought which I think is genius. So I love the overall setup. It felt like a PLE. It didn't just feel like a television show. It legit felt like a PLE. The matches I thought were really good. Everyone stepped their game up. The LA crowd, I don't know, LA wrestling crowds, they're kind of a mixed bag because they seem like they're into the show, but for the most part they kind of sit on their hands. I don't know, it's weird because the main event, and granted, I don't know, maybe it was because of the 3-hour show again, I don't know, but they were kind of doing the same thing with NXT last night. But it was are you guys into the match, or are you just I don't know, LA wrestling crowds are weird. Not as bad as say Corpus Christi, but they were just, it's kind of a mixed bag. But overall, the new show, the landscape, the look of it, just I love it. It looks amazing. It fits with the Netflix presentation, and also no editing out the crowd, no muting the crowd of when they chanted "fuck you" Solo. That shit came through in 4K audio. They muted some things because there was a thing where The Rock was whispering something to, or not whispering, but you can hear him say something to Pat McAfee, and they had to edit it out, which I was like, that kind of worried me for a second. I'm like, oh, they're gonna mute shit. It's and then The Rock comes out and says bullshit. I'm like, oh, okay. So, overall, again, I'm already a fan of the new Netflix era of WWE. Now, I know people kind of had their worries about Nick Khan saying, oh, it's going to be PG, it's going to be family friendly. It's you had Rhea Ripley out there wearing the shortest shorts I've ever seen her wear. You had Travis Scott smoking a blunt all the way to the ring with Jey Uso, and then you had The Rock saying bullshit. So I mean, it's PG. I guess in this era of things, that's considered PG. I also think it's Netflix saying, keep it PG, but here's a line, and try to stay either behind that line or on that line. Don't cross the line unless it's needed. So I guess it's like break glass in case of emergency for like blood and saying fuck or whatever. But all right, so let's get to like I mentioned, the show opens with The Rock coming out and welcoming everybody to Raw. Cutting a very babyface promo because he acknowledges Cody Rhodes, where he's like, Cody Rhodes, you've done a great job, brother, blah, blah, blah. Tell Mama Rhodes I said hi. And, I mean, that's really about it. I mean, he talks about his mom in the front row and his kids. So, I don't know. What'd you think about The Rock's promo to open Raw?
That was not The Rock. That was Dwayne Johnson.
Elaborate.
He came out there as the head of the board, Dwayne Johnson. It was not a Rock promo.
Okay. So, like, I was talking about this with other people because I noticed other people were online saying that, like, oh, The Rock's a face again. It's like, you explained it better than most people. You explained it better than me. Where I was like, trust me, like, he's going to go back to being heel Rock. You know, and we'll get to the match. Like, but at the end of the match, you know, just not to skip ahead, but, like, he kind of, like, I guess passive-aggressively almost puts the Ulafala on Roman. And then you just see him kind of staring at Roman. So it's like that's still going to happen. Whether it happens this year.
Despite what happened on NXT last night, if he wasn't at NXT last night, I was going to sit here and tell you that this Monday Night Raw was to help introduce a new audience to WWE, to what you said earlier, to either somebody who has not watched in a while or to somebody who has not seen pro wrestling ever, right?
Yeah.
I've been on X, Twitter, looking at different people's reactions. There's this one video of this one woman is like, oh, who's that? Who's that? He's sexy. Talking about Roman Reigns. I'm gonna watch every Monday now. Now we know Roman ain't gonna be there every Monday, so you know she's kind of setting herself up for failure. But she's bought in, right? So you need this. All this show was an introductory show. Still advanced some storylines, but it was an introductory show for the audience, the Netflix audience. That's why all baby faces won. All baby faces won.
Right.
At the end of it all. So at the end of the day, this was a show that advanced a little bit of storyline, but at the end of the day, this is not the normal Monday Night Raws that we're going to be getting. Okay?
Right.
We all know that. As fans, we know that it's going to be different next week, right? You're not going to see celebrities in the crowd. Like, because there was a ton of celebrities. To be honest, I think that's probably the most celebrities I've seen in a crowd, in a non WrestleMania crowd for a WWE show ever.
Right, like yeah.
And it wasn't like Ricky Dink celebrities either. Fucking, you had the Culkins there. I mean Macaulay Culkin, like, he's known as a huge wrestling fan. Like, he's on OSW.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, OSW review, just like, you know, just doing like segments of the show with them. So he's a huge wrestling fan. You know what I mean? But like, you had a lot of people there, a ton of people there for this event.
Fluffy.
So yeah, of course, Fluffy. Yes. I thought you named someone else, like someone more, you know, above him. But anyway, yeah, he's a good guy. But anyway, I forgot what I was gonna say. Fuck. No, fuck it. Go ahead. I forgot what I was gonna say.
Yeah, just to kind of piggyback what you just said. It's just like, yeah, this was the best way to present this to non-WWE fans or, you know, people that haven't watched in a while. Because it's like, I guess I should watch next week. And, you know, not for nothing, next week looks like it's going to be a pretty good Raw. I mean, you got, you know, the Intercontinental Championship, you know, for the women's, you know, finals. You have Damian Priest and Finn in a street fight. You have Chad Gable wrestling what looks like it's going to be Penta, which they've already, you know, revealed who that is. I mean, we kind of already knew who that was, but they pretty much said Penta. So, yeah, again, I'm enjoying it so far. And yeah, the celebrities, you know, both Culkin brothers, Fluffy, Ashton Kutcher was there, Topanga, you know, Batman Beyond, Will Ferrell was there, you know, a few other athletes were there.
Batman Beyond?
Yeah, Wolf Friedle. He was Batman Beyond.
Oh, they say Will Ferrell. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Wolf Friedle. That's his name. He was on Boy Meets World, and he was also Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
So, but and then
Eric Matthews. Yeah.
and it was funny because like they had the celebrities interact with New Day, where like New Day was like marking out for them, and they were like, New Day sucks. Like Xavier saw Topanga, and he's like, oh, she's my crush, and she just turns around and goes, New Day sucks, and she just walks
Right.
away, and Will Friedle just goes, she's right. And of course, Fluffy interacts, and he was also.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously like Vanessa Hudgens too, who's like a huge wrestling fan, and she's been like a Pied Piper for wrestling over the last, over the last like couple of years at least. So she was wearing a shirt that says, I think like pretty girls like wrestling or something like that, or hot girls like wrestling.
Hot girls.
So she's kind of like putting out there like, hey, this is the thing. Like you guys should like check it out. Not only that, I don't know if you know who Kay Adams is.
I heard that name. Who is that?
She's she's basically kind of like she's in the sports world, and we're not even gonna touch that subject right now because I know what you're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
But she's in the sports world. And I think she's on CBS. But she does like Up in Adams. That's like her morning show or whatnot. So attractive woman. She she was watching it. She was there live, and she was like, "Oh my god, like this is so fucking cool." Obviously, Travis Scott was there. Also, as well, like you had the crazy thing is that the night before, on Sunday, you had Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco with CM Punk.
I saw that
on the nightcap, and the nightcap was tweeting. Not during Raw, but during NXT last night. So I don't know if WWE was paying them to do that or whatever the case may be, but the fact that it's being done on their account, it means a lot. It means a lot for the wrestling business. It means a lot for what's going on. A lot of people's eyes and ears are going to be on the product, and this is just going to help wrestling be more mainstream. It's going to get more opportunities for the boys and girls in the locker room. It's going to help get these wrestlers more money. It's going to help me with more money because it's going to help my business out, right? So I just think overall that this is going to, really help pro wrestling as a thing. And Triple H, at the very beginning of the show, he got the, that video package with his voiceover review, and basically he's like, yeah, we know wrestling's fake. Yes, we know this, but it's a story. It's a story that's been told hundreds of years, and the story doesn't end. It just keeps continuing, right? You know what I mean? We know it's a work. You know what I mean? And there's baby faces or heels and all that stuff. So I like it from that standpoint because the only main stigma about pro wrestling, the only main stigma about pro wrestling that anyone says, if you don't like it, oh, that's fake. That's the only thing that people will bring up. They don't bring up, oh, well, I don't like this. I don't like the characters or storylines, the things that we will talk about. To the casual audience, for most white people don't watch wrestling is because, oh, it's fake. I mean, not because because of the stories, because of the bullshit backstage drama. They don't really know about that. So I just think that the overall for what Netflix has done so far with WWE and what WWE is doing, I think it's just gonna mean a lot more at the end of the day once they really get the ball rolling.
Agreed. So let's talk about the matches. The first matchup was Tribal Combat, Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. The winner takes home the Ulafala. I also noted Pat McAfee is now back in commentary. It's him and Michael Cole on Raw. And Joe Tessitore and I believe Corey Graves on SmackDown?
Yeah, Joe Tessitore, Corey Graves, and Wade Barrett.
Oh, so they're going with the three-man team? All right.
I would like to think,
because I know Corey Graves was on NXT last night, which that was nice to see him on NXT. So
yeah, he was, but I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't know what's gonna be permanent, but like I would not take Corey Graves off the main roster. That's just me.
Yeah. So try.
Corey was in town too as well. Like, I mean, it was in Los Angeles, so I was like, oh, why not? You want to do it next year? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So Tribal Combat. This wasn't a bad match. I mean, it was very much a by the numbers typical bloodline match where, of course Roman's going to do his 15-minute entrance. And it's weird because it's a match where there's no disqualification, but the referee still got knocked out. And that just made no sense. It's just every other bloodline match, the referee somehow gets bumped and knocked out. This match where there's no rules, the referee still got knocked out.
Right.
It's just like, really, like, the referee is fucked in all these matches regardless. But yeah, the match was what it was. It did its job. The fans are into it. The fans seem to be into it. I thought Solo looked good out there. Roman doing Roman things. And yeah, just I guess the cameos, as you would call them, interferences. You had Kevin Owens that came out. Cody came out to take care of Kevin Owens. And then the rest of the bloodline, like, Jacob and Tama. And of course, Jimmy and Sammy came out. No Jay, which, I guess that makes sense. They don't want him to kind of maybe possibly get hurt before his match, or they want to keep his match special. I don't know. I'm surprised. I don't know.
It was 3-on-3, so I mean,
yeah,
that would give the babyfaces a number advantage.
Right. I was expecting Drew to come out and maybe set up a story with Roman, but maybe they're gonna save that for later. But Roman wins, clean as a sheet. Roman got his Ulafala back. He's now the tribal chief again, and possibly going to be the cover, superstar for WWE 2K25. So, which apparently we're going to find out on the 27th of January. So, but yeah, the match was what it was. It wasn't bad. It was fun. Like I said, the crowd really seemed to be into it. But what'd you think?
I thought it was a great way to start off WWE on Netflix. I'm not saying that the match was great, but what I'm saying is that's how you want to introduce an audience to what WWE is. I thought that was very, very well done.
Right. And then, like I mentioned, The Rock came out and presented the Ulafala to Roman. And yeah, it's just this visual of The Rock standing behind Roman, just kind of, glaring into him. So, like you said, which was, I think might even be the title for tonight's show. That wasn't The Rock, that was Dwayne Johnson. Best way to put it, Justin. So next is, John Cena come out and start his retirement tour. Basically said a whole bunch of nothing when you think about it. Like, he says that, I'm going to be 17-time world champion, blah, blah, blah. I might even go to the Royal... I might show up in the Royal Rumble. I might show up in the Elimination Chamber. And I might face Drew McIntyre or Cody Rhodes. And, yeah, basically just gave a John Cena promo where he kind of just said a lot but didn't really say anything when you think about it. But yeah, it was John Cena. Again, people were happy to see John. Good for John. It's nice to see him back, to kind of get his one last shot. But what'd you think?
That was a very great promo from John Cena. Again, it's telegraphing on what's happening. Looks like he's going to get his WrestleMania moment of going after the world title. Is it going to be Gunther? Is it going to be Cody? We don't know yet, but or is it going to be someone that may not even be Gunther? Maybe someone like Drew McIntyre. Maybe someone like CM Punk. Who knows, right? Maybe Seth Rollins, right? But yeah, I think he's going after that record-breaking title reign. So, does he get it? And if I were a betting man right now, I think they'll probably give it to him. I think they'll probably give it to him, just because of, in WWE's eyes, I'm not saying to the world of wrestling, but in WWE's eyes, they see John Cena greater than Ric Flair.
I was gonna say, I think it might be almost like a spite thing because you just see how much of a goof that Ric Flair is being. That they're like,
Well,
yeah, we want to take that away from him and give it to you.
I mean, Ric Flair ain't much of a goof more than fucking Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan's on another level of goof, right?
They're both goofs.
Like,
Plain.
well, if you have to pick one, I mean, who would you rather have in your company, fucking Ric Flair or Hulk Hogan? I would definitely pick Ric Flair over fucking Hulk Hogan. Ric Flair, at least our dog ain't saying racist shit. Yeah, I mean, so.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have to pick one, right? Like Ric Flair or Hulk Hogan, I'll pick Ric Flair 10 times out of 10 at this point. You know what I mean? Ric Flair wants to die in the ring and wrestle, like, you know what I mean? And like drinking problems and shit like that. He's old, right? He's senile, whatever, right? Hulk Hogan's just like, he still thinks it's fucking 1987, you know?
Right. I mean, they're both goofs in their own right. I think Flair just things he does in public, I think, are a little bit more public than Hogan. Obviously, Hogan saying what he said 10 years ago, and then publicly endorsing Donald Trump.
Well, not even just that. Like, I mean, he's a Trump supporter, right? I mean, at the end of the day, like, you support who you want to support. If you're a Trump supporter, like, oh man, you're a bad person. No, because Undertaker, he seems like he's a Trump supporter, but he got cheered.
Well, seem like he is. Like he had Trump on his podcast, but the difference being. Well, no, I was gonna say like.
Here's the thing. I don't want to get into politics.
Right.
But just because someone's on your podcast does not mean that you're a full supporter of them. Trump was on other people's podcasts, during the presidential run. And some podcasters was like, I'm not a Trump supporter. I used to have on the podcast to hear his point of view. So it's like, is Taker a Trump supporter? Most likely, yes. But the point I'm trying to get to is that more people respect Undertaker way more than they respect Hulk Hogan at a particular point in time.
Right.
Hence his reaction that he got when he came out. It wasn't a huge reaction, but it's definitely more favorable than Mr. Balea.
Right, and also with Taker, it's just like, not for nothing, two of his closest friends are The Godfather and Mark Henry. So nobody thinks Undertaker's a racist. I never thought Undertaker was a racist, obviously. Does it surprise me that he was a Trump supporter? I mean, he's a white guy from Texas. He's an older older Southern white man from Texas. But then again, Steve Austin is, and Steve Austin seems more liberal. But then again, I don't want to get into politics either. I hate politics. It's just, at the end of the day, I don't care who you vote for. Just don't be a dick. You can vote for whoever you want to vote for. I'm still going to fuck with you. I'm still going to be your friend. Just don't be a dick. Plain and simple. But moving on. We got the Women's World Championship, Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. I thought this was the best match between these two out of this whole feud. Rhea's obviously Rhea. I mean, what else is there to say about Rhea? Liv, she's obviously shown improvement in the past year and a half. It's funny because she kind of this is just my opinion. She kind of goes through these lulls of like, she's obviously trying. She wants to break that mold of, people thinking that she's just another Alexa Bliss. She's proven that she's much better in the ring than Alexa Bliss. And more entertaining and better on the mic. But she kind of does go through these lulls of, I guess depending on her opponent, she can be a little flat in the ring. This feud with her and Rhea has been a little underwhelming because it's one of those things like...
It's been long. It's been very long.
Long, yes. That's the best way to put it. Like, it should have been a bigger deal than it was, but it really wasn't. I mean, I'm kind of done with the Judgment Day. I've been done with the Judgment Day for a while. But this was the best match between these two. Rhea is great at selling. Liv has... It's funny, like her facials can be a little over the top, but they work. And she knows how to work. Her and Rhea kind of have like a mixed bag of chemistry. In this case, they really just showed out. And like I said, this is the best match between these two. with Rhea obviously winning, and then afterwards kicking Dom in the balls and putting him in a riptide. And like you mentioned earlier, afterwards Taker comes out in his American Badass entrance, which Rhea apparently was not expecting. I mean, she legit said, "I did not expect this at all." Allegedly, that was supposed to be Becky Lynch, but Becky Lynch did not come out. She's allegedly signed another contract or a new contract with WWE, so cool.
I mean, the contract's been signed. We're
Right,
just now finding out about it.
right. But allegedly
She was in the Netflix commercial, for God's sakes. The contract's been signed.
and she's going to be in Happy Gilmore too, so that's another thing for Netflix. But along with MJF. But yeah, Taker came out and I guess did the same thing they did with Carmelo Hayes a year ago in NXT. He did it with Rhea, so Rhea got her moment. She got her rub from Taker, which again, cool moment. We can't really shit on it. But what'd you think about the match and the I guess what happened afterwards?
It was a fine match. It was a fine match. I mean, again, this was an introduction show, right? We knew Rhea was gonna win the title back here. Like, it was like, if you gave me a $10,000 to bet on for free, I would have. This was the number one that I would have betted on. Rhea Ripley win the title back from Liv Morgan on the first Raw on Netflix. You know what I mean? So I just think that it was a by the numbers match. Very, very good women's match. Best women's match from WWE this year, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I'm being funny, but
yeah.
But yeah, no, it was fine. Undertaker coming out fine as well. That's the way that WWE sees her right now, as not like the Undertaker, but like the American Badass version of Undertaker. They kind of see her that way, so I have no issue with that at all.
Right. Logan Paul did a pre-tape video package revealing that WWE is no longer a side hustle. He is a 100% a WWE superstar. So we got Logan Paul apparently in WWE for good. He's not going to be a boxer anymore. He's not going to do...
No.
I mean, he's still going to do his podcast, obviously.
There's a possible fight with him and Conor McGregor, but, you know.
So that's not his brother?
No, this was with Logan.
I mean, what's going on with Conor? I don't know if he's going to be doing any more fights.
I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on with Conor McGregor. I'll just tell you what I know. That's it.
All right. But Logan's back, so cool. Was the Hogan thing before the Jey Uso match or after?
I have no idea. I think it was after, I want to say.
Let's talk about the Hogan thing real quick, and then we'll get into the match. So, Hulk Hogan announced that he had signed a multi-year deal with WWE for his beer, which is, was it American beer? Real American beer?
All American beer or American made beer, something like that.
Which I'll try it out because I like Austin's beer for the lager over the IPA, so I'll try Hogan's beer if it's available. But Hogan came out with Jimmy Hart, and the fans were not feeling him, is the nicest way to put it. He got booed out of the building. He was booed. Which was expected. I think people expected it. Like, it's weird because, like, again, I put this on Twitter where I was like, you know, are wrestling fans fickle? Are they hypocritical? You know, because they'll still celebrate Chris Benoit and say he should be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, there's other people that have done as worse things as Hogan, maybe even worse, and they're still kind of celebrated. But is Hogan still a shithead? Yes. Like, fuck Hogan. Like, if I never have to see Hogan on television or in the public again, I'm glad, because I was never even a Hogan fan to begin with, even before all that shit happened. That just made me solidify, fuck this dude. No, I never liked him. But felt bad for Jimmy Hart though. Poor Jimmy. I like Jimmy. He looked confused. he looked confused out there and almost hurt. So I mean, I think they should still bring Jimmy Hart back at least. But Hogan, he got what he deserved. Like that was well deserved. But what'd you think?
No comment.
All right. So that was the Hogan talk, people. Next is you had Jey Uso versus Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, or not Drew McIntyre. Jey Uso came out with Travis Scott, who was doing the intro for Raw. Travis Scott was smoking a blunt on his way to the ring with Jey Uso.
That was fucking wild.
Which I'm like, yeah, this shit ain't PG. This shit definitely ain't PG. But like I said, I'm pretty sure Netflix is like, here's a line. Don't cross it unless it's necessary. But yeah, that's fucking nuts. 2025, and we got Jey Uso being led to the ring with a huge rapper who's smoking a blunt. It's like, wow, people. Jey Uso's still over. I mean, I never denied that. You know, Jey Uso is over with the crowd. You know, they love chanting "Yeet." They love singing along with his song.
Yeah, it's the best entrance in wrestling.
Yeah, there's no denying that. Once the bell rings, depends on who he's with. If he's in the ring with somebody that can lead him, he can have a good match. In this case, I thought the match was good because Drew knows how to work. He knows how to sell. I just hope they don't put Drew in a position of like, we need you to put over bigger stars, and not, we're gonna put you in that main event spot. I kind of hope that's not the case, but I thought him and Jay had a decent match. Wasn't great, wasn't bad either, but it was a pretty decent match. I did like the story that was being told at the end of the match, where Drew was about to go for a Claymore and Jay kind of like faints, and Drew gets, you know, full of himself and arrogant. He's like, "Come on, Jay, it's almost over," and then Jay, you know, rolls him for a schoolboy and pins him, which I thought that made sense, because you can't just have Jay lose all the time. Like, Jay is still one of the most over guys in the company, so you got to give him something. And Drew losing this match the way he did, it doesn't hurt him, because they can just have a third match and Drew can win. So,
I mean, Drew's winning the world title this year, or WWE title this year, so he's fine.
Right, he'll be fine. But what do you think about the match?
So that was a good match. I thought all the matches were good in some fashion. So this was a good match. Nothing great, fantastic, groundbreaking, but I thought it was a good match. Jay getting the win here again, have no issues with. This is again an introductory show to everyone. So I thought it was fine.
All right. Now we're on to the main event, which is CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. CM Punk coming out wearing his Triple X jacket, a la, you know, Ring of Honor, and the controversial All In Wembley, which I thought was kind of cool that he brought that back for the Netflix premiere on Raw. So what better time to do it? They showed a nice video package of you know, Seth Rollins talking about when he was a young kid, he wanted CM Punk to train him, but he had no money. And then, you know, just talking about their relationship over the years. It's funny, Michael Cole referred to Seth Rollins by his real name, Colby Lopez. Seth coming out dressing like him from the Powerpuff Girls, which I'm just like, oh, come on. But, you know, whatever. People like him. I don't hate Seth Rollins. I just whatever. That's not here nor there. But once the match began,
Wait. You say you hate Seth Rollins?
No. I don't hate Seth Rollins.
Oh, okay.
I'm kind of getting annoyed by the shenanigans, by the weird, you know, dress ups. I mean, eventually he's going to turn heel, and he's maybe going to dress more serious. But that's just me.
So let me ask this: if he wanted to be dressed like everyone else, like, what does that do for you?
I'm not saying like everybody else. I'm saying like the aesthetic doesn't fit him, in my opinion.
I mean, that's his character. I mean, if he doesn't dress like that, he's just mad Seth Rollins. He's back to 2020. Was it 2022 Seth Rollins? 2021 Seth Rollins? Well, with Buddy Murphy.
I mean, I think he might be going back to that eventually when he's a heel. But
Monday Night Messiah again?
Maybe not Monday Night Messiah, but it's going to be him coming out being like, you know, screw you people, you like CM Punk. I'm not gonna do blah 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 anymore. Like he's gonna take away what people like about him and do what fits him. I don't know.
But when so if he were to do that, like, because him like dressing up like that is kind of like he's kind of like the Joker in a way, right? That's why they give him like the Joker comparison. Not like the Joker. He's not the Joker, but I'm saying Joker comparison as far as like a guy that went fucking insane and and he's dressing like it and he's dyes his hair and all that shit as well. If he just goes back to like regular Seth Rollins, like sure that'll be fine, but it's like I think I like that. I think I like the other version of you a little bit better. I don't know. That's just me. Like,
I'll say this: when it's in a big match, yes, but when you're trying to cut a serious wrestling promo, and you're dressed like Mike Wachowski from Monsters Inc.
So you're like, so you're listening from, so you're more focused on what he's wearing versus listening to what he has to say.
It's kind of distracting to me.
And not to me. I don't look at someone how they're dressed when it's a serious promo or not. So when he had that promo with CM Punk, last week.
That was a good promo because he wasn't overdressed. He was wearing something, I guess, somewhat normal-ish.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But anywho, this is good. This is a really, really good match. This match I thought lived up to the hype. I like the fact that I liked how it began as just a fight and not just a tie-up or a basic wrestling match. The match began with just both guys beating the shit out of each other, and I like that because this is a blood feud, and I think it's obviously going to continue. But obviously these two work well together. I believe they only had like one match when Punk was here 10 years ago, or I guess the last time Punk was in WWE. I think they only
had 2013 or something like that.
They had one. Yeah, they had one match when Punk was working with the Shield. I mean, they probably did house shows together. I don't know, but
like televised. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a really good match. I mean, again, Seth knows how to work. Seth can once that red light goes on, people can say whatever they want about the whole gimmick. I know I just did, but there's no denying that Seth can work. Seth, I think, has good in-ring chemistry with most people. Punk looks less gassed than how he was, even when he was in AEW. Punk always looked gassed whenever he was in the ring with, a lot of talent. Ever since he's come back to WWE, he looks a lot more, I guess, more, what's the word? Like he has more energy. I mean, granted, they book him right and they don't have him wrestle every single week. And yeah, he has been doing house shows, working with some of the talent, but he looks like he's in there and he knows how to, and he's less gassed and he has more energy. That's the best. That's the best way to put it, in my opinion.
Interesting. Okay.
Maybe his health was no bueno, a few years ago. But anywho, that's neither here nor there. But really good match. There's a spot where Rollins got cut on the side of his head. I'm assuming that was when, Punk did the first GTS.
Yeah, well, definitely one of the GTSs for sure, yeah.
And someone pointed out that the ending of the match was the same as the ending from All Out in 2022.
Yep.
With another Shield member, John Moxley, where Punk did the first GTS, and then Rollins kind of waddled into the corner and then walked into another GTS. And Punk got the win. You
see a lot of those callbacks in from different wrestling organizations.
Mm-hmm.
I think I didn't see much of Dynamite tonight, but I did see like the little Adam Cole flurry on X, and that was kind of being reminded of NXT New Orleans. Yeah, kind of the little flurry they had. So yeah.
All right, and Punk got the win, which I expected. I mean, you're not going to have Punk lose. And Rollins, like you said, I mean, this isn't over. Even Punk said, "I'm pretty sure this is the last of me and Rollins," and of Rollins, walking out of the ring dejected, which begins the heel turn. So, but Punk got the win. Afterwards, he was talking to, I believe, Jackie Redmond. Was it Jackie Redmond or Kathy Kelly? Was it one of those two?
Jackie Redmond.
Okay, and he gives some shout outs. He gives a shout out to Chris Bay, which, class act. There's another guy, I'm forgetting the name. He's a friend of Punk. He was a hardcore singer. And then he talks about, I'm coming after Cody Rhodes. I'm coming after Gunther. I want the gold. And that ends Raw. That ends the debut of Raw on Netflix. And also there was a kind of a cool moment where after Punk rolled out of the ring, him and Kieran Culkin had a moment. Kieran Culkin being a big wrestling fan, who actually just won a Golden Globe for a movie he just did. So, and he was telling Punk, I'm a massive fan. I just won an award, and this is how I celebrate. And I thought it was kind of a cool moment. So, but overall, what'd you think about the match?
That was a very good match. Very good match. Hard hitting, a little sloppy, but that kind of adds to the realism to it as well.
Right.
Sometimes sloppy in wrestling matches help a little bit. But yeah, I thought that was a very good match. Punk win. It could have went either way, but Punk winning, I'm not gonna complain about either. But we'll see what happens. But I think Seth possibly is gonna win the world title going into WrestleMania. We'll see.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't think Gunther's going to WrestleMania as champion. I'll just say that.
Yeah, that kind of seems like the way to go, in my opinion. Because it's obviously going to be Punk and Rollins at Mania. I mean, it was supposed to be that last year, and I'm pretty sure they want to do it again this year. And there's a good story to tell with that. Especially with Rollins possibly winning back the world title. We'll see. But that was Raw, people, which was a success. How would you give the debut? Jesus Christ, I can't talk today. How would you rate the debut of Raw on Netflix?
With everything together, it was a very, very good show. It did its purpose and its job, and on that scale, I give it an 8 out of 10.
Same thing. 8 out of 10 seems fair. All right. So let's talk about, I guess since it's a lot fresher, since it happened yesterday, let's talk about NXT. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about SmackDown for a little bit, and then we'll go to NXT. So the debut of, I guess, the 3-hour SmackDown, which Triple H had mentioned that it's not going to be 3 hours, permanently. It'll go back to being 2 hours. So SmackDown was in, I believe, Phoenix, Arizona. And we'll just kind of breeze through it real quick. What'd you think about the 3-hour SmackDown?
It was like a 3-hour Raw.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It was fine. It was a fine show. It was okay. It wasn't anything fantastic. Like, oh my god, well, the best thing about the show was Tiffany's cash in.
Right. Tiffany Stratton finally cashed in after the Women's Championship match with Nia Jax and Naomi, which was a pretty good match. I thought it was the best match I've seen Nia have since she came back, and I think it's the best match I've seen Naomi have since she came back to WWE. So, good match between the two. Tiffany came out and kind of swerved the people. Looked like she was going to cash in, but she actually helped Nia win the match. And then once Nia's back is turned, she hits her with the briefcase, and then she takes out what's her name, Candice. And then cashes in her Money in the Bank, goes for the win, 1, 2, 3, and now Tiffany is the new women's champion. Good. I mean, it needed to happen. If it wasn't going to happen there, it was like, okay, when the fuck is this going to happen? But it finally happened. Crowd seemed into it, but granted, the crowd's always... anyone who cashes in a Money in the Bank is always over for that moment. But in Tiffany's case, I think she's been over. And it kind of looks like they're making her into a face, which I think is the best thing to do, to me. But good for Tiffany. I mean, she's obviously come a long way since NXT 2.0. I mean, when she came in, it was just like, oh, another blonde. This is Vince and Kevin Dunn running NXT, but she busted her ass and wanted to get better in the ring and proved herself. And, so far she has. And same thing with her and Braun Breaker. They've obviously been the standouts from that 2.0 class. So, good for them. Congrats to them. The show opened with Drew McIntyre confronting Cody, saying, I'm not here to hurt you, I want to help you. And then Kevin Owens attacks Cody to hype up their Royal Rumble match. So, And like you said, it wasn't necessarily a bad show.
Right.
It was a good show. It was a decent show. I wouldn't say it was like anything special, but for the most part, the biggest pop of the night was Tiffany cashing in. So that's how we thought about SmackDown, people. So let's go to NXT New Year's Evil, which was the very next night on Tuesday, and like I mentioned with the VPN I got, tested it out. It was good. It worked about the same. The only thing that's kind of weird is, like I mentioned with Raw, you don't get commercials. You just get promos and ads, WWE related, which is good. With NXT, since it's still a network television show, you don't get commercials. You don't even get picture in picture. You'll just get like random promos of like NXT wrestlers standing in the ring and just slowly looking at you.
Oh yeah, someone was like on Twitter like, it was a Trick Williams and was like, oh my god, I like this on Netflix, and I'm like, my god, Jesus, calm down.
Yeah, it was kind of weird where it's like Trick Williams like slowly staring into the
and he's just like looking in the camera and stuff. Like,
Roxanne Perez, same thing. Ethan Page, but New Year's Evil. Speaking of Roxanne Perez, the show was in L.A. It was in the Shrine Expo Hall. I believe they were sold out, or they were close to sold out. But anywho, the show opens with NXT for the NXT Women's Championship. Julia versus Roxanne Perez. Jesus Christ, I'm always spilling shit. Okay. Julia versus Roxanne Perez. Good match. I thought it was maybe just as good as their last match. I wouldn't say it was better. I would say it was just about the same. But I thought it was a really good match. Again, the LA crowd's very mixed.
Right.
Like, I don't think they were getting really hyped for anything. Obviously, they got hyped for The Rock coming out. But, it's The Rock, so what can you say? But they just seemed like they were kind of sitting on their hands for the most show. But I thought this was a good match. It was a little predictable, but it got to the point it needed to get to. Cora came out and caused a distraction, which didn't really mean anything to the match. Personally, it wasn't like the last match where she came back and it was unexpected. This was just like she came out and it was like, yeah, if you had taken that distraction out, it wouldn't have meant anything. It would have just been the same match. But Julia got the win, and now Julia is the new NXT Women's Champion. Roxanne Perez was the NXT Women's Champion for, I believe, 267 days or 266 days. But yeah, so good reign for Roxanne. Roxanne's obviously going to the main roster soon, whether it's more than likely at the Rumble. But what did you think about the match?
I thought it was a very good match between these two. I mean, when you get two quality women's wrestlers in there, they're not going to have a bad match. Julia Lane was the right move. Roxy, she had, up there as one of the best women's reigns in NXT history. Not as good as Asuka's, right? Well, probably on the brain of maybe like a Shayna Baszler, which Shayna Baszler had a damn good reign as champion in NXT as well. So, but Roxy, man, she's dynamite. She's gonna be a star for years in this company. So, she's about to be ready to be moved to the main roster. I think what I would do with her is I'll give her one more match at before, an event before Stand Deliver. Then I'll do Julia versus Stephanie Vecchia as the main event for Stand Deliver. That's what I would do.
I second that motion, sir.
Yeah,
but
because I know those two, they're gonna pull on a fucking
banger.
They're gonna pull on a classic.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Roxanne, our girl, she's gonna do some big things on the main roster. Kind of like what you just said. I think she's gonna make like a soft debut on the main roster, but then she's still gonna finish some things out on NXT. More than likely have one more match on Stand Deliver against maybe Cora.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
This seems like the way to go. Same thing with a certain other former world champion, which we'll get into in a little bit. But
right.
Speaking of Stephanie Vecchia, Fatal 4-way match to determine the number one contender for the NXT Women's North American Championship. Stephanie Vacour versus Cora Jade, Kalani Jordan, Lola Vice. Stephanie Vacour, maybe I'm just being biased. She just looks so much better than everybody in that ring. And granted, mostly everybody in that ring is like not as experienced as her.
Yeah, I was gonna say like that. You're not really like giving a fair assessment there. Like she's far better ahead than everyone there in that ring.
I mean, that's like having an NBA player play pickup with like 3 people
exactly
in high school. And again, like Kalani, like Lola, Cora, I'm mixed on. I think Cora has a good personality, and her talking has gotten better, but her in-ring skills are kind of meh. I'll just put it like that. But yeah, Stephanie is obviously the ring general of this match, and it's not a knock on her. It's not even really a knock on the other 3 girls. They're just not as experienced as her. But I thought she was obviously the star in this match, and I think it was Stevie Wonder could see who was going to win this match, and it was Stephanie. And Stephanie did win the match, and she'll be going after that North American title. But she'll apparently have to fight somebody first.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about that in a bit. But what'd you think about the match?
Oh, it was a fair match, fine match. I didn't think it was anything fantastic or anything, but I thought the match was fine for what it was. And my personal one, Stephanie picking up the win was the right move.
All right. Next is we had a 6-women tag match. We had Gigi Dolan, Shotzi, and Tatum Paxley versus Fatal Influence. This was a fun match. This is a fun, 6-woman tag match. Shotzi, condolences. Her mother-in-law, her husband's mom, passed away recently.
I didn't even hear about that. No.
Yeah, she put
Sorry to hear
that. She was wearing an armband that said Emma.
I did see that. Yeah.
I'm guessing that was her name, but condolences to Shotzi and her husband's family. But this is a fun match. I'm digging the new faction with Gigi, Shotzi, and Tatum.
Yeah, it's fun. Very fun.
I think people on social media are calling them Chemical X.
Yeah.
Like Powerpuff Girls. So I don't know if they're gonna go with that. I think all 3 women have good chemistry. They all kind of fit a different mold and a different in-ring style. So I think NXT needed another women's faction. I like Fatal Influence. I love their theme. I think all 3 women, they're gelling well together. I think Jasmine Nix I think she has a future. But I think maybe like another year or 2, she'll be really good in the ring. JC kind of being the player coach, and Fallon, they're putting the gas behind her. But the faces won, which I thought made sense, and it created another story, for Fallon's North American title, which was Gigi saying, "I pinned the North American Women's Champion, so I deserve a title match." So looks like it's gonna be Shotzi and Stephanie, next Tuesday. So thoughts on the match?
It was a fine match, nothing special or anything like that. But I really enjoy. I'm gonna call him Chemical X because that's what everyone's calling him right now. I'm enjoying that group as well, and I thought the match was fine.
All right. Next is you had a sudden death rules for the NXT Heritage Cup. Lexis King defeated Charlie Dempsey. I was kind of tuned out of this match, not because it was bad or anything, because I do like Lexis King. I like Charlie Dempsey, but this was a match where I was just like, I don't know if this needed to be on the pay-per-view. And before you ask me what other match could have been on the pay-per-view, I don't know.
I mean, this wasn't a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
This was NXT TV.
Oh, special event. Is that the best way to put it?
Okay, sure. Yeah.
But, give me your thoughts real quick. I got to use the restroom, so, talk.
Okay. Charlie Dempsey versus Lexis King, I thought was a fine match. I didn't think it was a bad match by any stretch of imagination. I mean, again, this is the Heritage Cup rules match, right? But at the end of the day, though, I mean, I mean, this is developmental, and developmental is something where you're going to continue to see guys like Charlie Dempsey and Lexus King continue to get better in the ring every single time they go out there, right? So was this like a perfect match? No, right? But but at the end of the day, I like this match for what it was. I thought there was some great ground game from Charlie Dempsey. There was a good story that was being told. With some of the submission holds that Charlie Dempsey was doing, and I thought the match was fine overall. I have nothing else to add. And we'll wait for Drew to get back, because, yeah. I'm a professional. I go to the restroom before the show. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, but I thought the match was totally fine, though. Mm-mm-mm. I have no idea where Drew went. I mean, I know where Drew went, but like I don't know what's taking him so long, I should say.
Alright. Alright, I'm back.
Yep.
We were on the Heritage Cup match. What'd you think about the match?
I already explained it. Alright.
Okay, well, I mean, I didn't hear you, but I guess it's a quick synopsis.
I thought the match was fine.
Nice. Again, I thought it was okay. I like Lexus King. I like seeing him get more opportunities. I think he works better as a babyface. Whenever he was trying to be like the snarky heel,
Right.
it was working for a bit, but it's just like, I don't know, dude. I like you. I think you're more likable as a face, and it's working. So, and I like Charlie Dempsey, so good for them. All right, main event. Triple threat match for the NXT Championship. Obafemi, Trick Williams, and Eddie Thorpe. Before the match, Eddie Thorpe got taken out for real this time by Obafemi. But Ava was very adamant that it's going to stay a triple threat. So the match, for the most part, started out as just a singles match, which wasn't a bad match with Trick and Oba. This is probably the best match I've seen Trick have in a while. And I don't know if I would say this is the best match I've seen Oba have. I've seen Oba have better matches, but overall, for the most part, when it was just them two, I thought it was a better match. And I thought they had good chemistry, surprisingly, for two guys that never worked together before. Towards the end of the match, Eddie Thorpe came out, which, looking back on it, maybe it should have stayed a singles match, because Eddie coming out didn't really add anything to the match. It just, I guess, added to the ending of the match,
Right.
which was Trick going for his finisher, and then Eddie hitting him with a chair, and then Oba going for his pin, and Oba is now the NXT champion, which I was happy. I was a little surprised by, but I was happy. Obviously, I'm happy because I love Oba. Trick, I'm kind of in the middle on sometimes because it's like a Jey Uso thing of like he's over. His entrance is over. People like to sing his entrance theme.
Yeah.
But
I mean, yeah, you're raving about him, but this time last year,
Trick Williams?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, I was, but it's like as soon as you saw the match happen, you're like, depending on who he's with. In this case, he had a really good match with Oba. But yeah, Oba's the new NXT champion. Well deserved, and more than likely we're gonna run it back at a takeover before Trick goes to the main roster. Kind of like what Roxanne's doing. You're more than likely gonna see Trick maybe debut at the Rumble, if I had to guess.
Yeah, possibly.
And then he's gonna maybe take care of some things before he leaves. So yeah, and then after the match you had Oba and Julia posing together as the new NXT champions, to start off the year. But what'd you think about the match?
I thought it was a good triple threat. Yeah, with Thorpe coming up at the end was fine. I mean, there was a lot of. I mean, we kind of skipped a ton of why he was not in the triple threat to begin with. Someone attacked him backstage.
No, I said that.
No. I think we glossed over it, but I think it was more of The Rock more than anything else. But also as well, The Rock was backstage as well with Ava, and I know we're gonna talk about The Rock segment at the end as well. But he had a nice little segment with Ethan Page. Ethan Page is Rock was a big inspiration to him, and I think it was back in like 2020 or 2021 where. Mm-hmm. He mentioned The Rock as like inspiration, or no, The Rock bought the XFL and like he replied to it, and The Rock replied back to him. So yeah. But as far as this match is concerned, getting back to the match, I thought the match was fine. Oba, we knew that he was becoming NXT champion. I wasn't expecting to be at the very beginning of 2025, but hey, I'm not complaining at the end of the day. Well, the question is, who the hell is gonna take the title off of him? Like. I don't see anyone in the current roster that's going to do that. So
nope. But so let's get to The Rock. So like you mentioned, The Rock was already announced that he was going to be on NXT. He said it the night before on Raw, where he put on his Instagram where he's driving away in his truck and he's saying, NXT, I'll see you tomorrow. So he shows up in a segment with Ava, his daughter, and Ethan Page, where he tells Ethan Page, listen. I'm trying to be cool with you. I want to be cool with you, but you got to be cool with her because I may be the final boss all WWE, but she's the final boss here.
Right.
Is that, are you cool with that? And, Ethan's like, so cool. So he shakes his hand, he walks away and then he says, get your sweet ass out here and smacks on the ass, which I'm just like.
And I already know that he broke when he got off camera. I already knew he was laughing. That was, yeah.
And Ethan Page did I put up a video on Instagram where he goes, and The Rock thinks I have a sweet ass. So, but yeah, man. Again, just look at Ethan Page. Ever since he came to WWE, they made him NXT champion in less than a month. He was already working with CM Punk, and now he did a segment with The Rock.
Yeah, if anyone tells me, "Oh, your WWE career's a bust," If it becomes a bust per se, I'm putting that in quotations, no one's ever gonna take that segment away from him with The Rock. The Rock is there on NXT, and the main segment that he's involved in involves Ethan Page. It's great.
That had to
great for him, man.
That had to be The Rock's call, if I had to guess. The Rock's let me do something with Ethan.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah, because he's obviously aware of his work and his inspiration. Rock's a wrestling guy at the end of the day. He's not like Vince.
Yeah.
I mean, Vince is a wrestling guy, but Rock was a wrestler. He's a wrestler. He's one of the best ever, right?
Yeah.
So he keeps his finger on the pulse of what's going on. You know what I mean? Probably not to a point like us, but he keeps the pulse of what's going on. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's seen something from him in AEW prior to.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh man, this guy has some talent. Oh, guy likes me. Things like that. So yeah.
I was kind of thinking that earlier with The Rock. It's at the end of the day, The Rock grew up in wrestling. He loves wrestling. He's always loved wrestling. And I mean, fucking before Kevin Owens came to WWE, he was keeping tabs on him. Like he was interacting with him on social media and like saying, hey, can't wait to see you here. Same thing with Ricochet before he came to WWE. So, and The Rock even says like, I pay attention to everything. I may not watch everything, but I pay attention to everything. I pay attention to AEW. I pay attention to NWA. Current NWA. So, like you said, The Rock, keeps his finger on the pulse of wrestling. Granted, does he watch every single like second of it? Probably not, but I'm pretty sure he knows names. So, and it feels and it's genuine coming from him. He at the end of the day, he's a wrestling guy.
Yeah.
So The Rock came out. It was the last 14 minutes of the show. And by the time he got to the ring, there were 6.5 minutes because he said the producer told him I have 6.5 minutes, but let's make it work. Swearing a lot. Of course, I got bleeped because it's CW. It's basic cable, so he's not going to get away with it like he can on Netflix. And like you said,
I wonder if it was on Netflix. I wonder if if it's just a CW feed.
CW.
Well, yeah, I know it's on CW, but I'm saying, do they get just the CW feed directly into Netflix?
I believe so because I was watching it on Netflix.
And okay, and they got bleeped still.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, got you.
And like you said, he was being Dwayne Johnson, not The Rock. Like he was,
no, kind of, sort of, but he kind of. This is a different promo. This is a little bit different.
Right. Like he looked like he was very genuinely happy to be there, and he looked like he was like excited, and essentially it was a promo of him telling people to watch NXT. Which again, it was good. It was not. It was surreal to see The Rock on NXT.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, he's one of the biggest stars in wrestling. He's one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. He's transcended wrestling. He's become bigger than wrestling, where he has two different fans. He has fans that know him as Dwayne Johnson. He has fans that know him as The Rock. So that's big for him to say, "Let me show up on NXT" is huge. That's huge.
NXT almost got 1 million views last night too. Average viewers
950, I believe.
Like 957, something like that. Yeah.
Which I think is their highest rating since they became a 2-hour show.
Well, since CW.
No, like in general. So for CW,
I think they did. I think they did over 1 million when DYNAMITE first started. They did 1 million a couple times when in 2019.
Hold on. Let me do the math real quick. Yeah, this is the highest ratings they've had on CW.
Right.
Let me look up.
So yeah, I'm more than sure they did it over 1 million in like 2019.
All right, I have it right here.
I know they did over 1 million.
September 25th, 2019 was the last time they did 1 million. And that was the first hour on USA Network. When they started going 2 hours was October 2nd, 2019. That was when they started going head-to-head with AEW.
And then that's where it went down the drain.
So I guess the point I was making is their highest viewed show since going
on CW. Yeah.
I'm saying since going. Okay, on CW, it is the highest viewed show. I'm saying like since they started going 2 hours in general, it is the highest ratings they've had.
They were 2 hours back in 2019 as well.
No, they started on October 2nd is when they started going 2 hours. Anyways, they did good. The point is, NXT did good. Overall good show, and obviously The Rock was the shot in the arm that they needed. So, but yeah, that was NXT New Year's Evil. What did you think about The Rock's promo?
It was fine, but again, like he started to tiptoe into the final boss characters, talking about Cody, right? But I think there's something there to that.
Mm-hmm.
So that wasn't really that. It was about 60% Dwayne Johnson and 40% The Rock, the final boss character. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what comes out of that.
All right. Well, that was NXT New Year's Evil, people. How would you rate the show?
Well, it was like a 7 out of 10. I thought it was a fine show.
Yeah, that's fair. 7 out of 10. All right. So Dynamite. I watched Dynamite in its entirety. It was in was it Tennessee, I believe, Nashville. Yeah, it was in Tennessee. So I'm going to talk about the show, people, and that'll be it. So Dynamite made its Max debut last week, and
Did you watch it on Max or TBS?
Max.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I watched it on Max, and yeah, the first show the first match of the night was Will Ospreay versus Buddy Matthews. I thought it was a fun match. I like Buddy Matthews. Ospreay, I go back and forth on, but I thought this was a fun match. It was a fun opener. I think was it Buddy won a match to face what's his name? Ospreay. He won like some gauntlet match or fatal four way. What did he win?
I don't know.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I'm a person here.
But Ospreay won the match, and afterwards he propped up Matthews and said, "You don't need a leader."
Yeah.
So that's causing a dissension with the Dark Order. Not the Dark Order, Jesus Christ. House of Black. There you go.
House of Black, yeah. Well, speaking of, I mean, we're on the subject of House of Black. Those spoken to within AEW were of the belief that Malachi Black was finishing up with the company. If you hadn't already, it was not clarified if Black will appear on AEW TV again. Fightful Select.
Okay, is it true this time? Because the last two times, apparently, it never happened. So
I'm just reading what's out there tonight, so we'll find out more information. But he has. But what I do know is he does have a option year coming up, and I don't know if AEW is going to renew his contract as of right now. For what it looks like, it is probably not going to happen. But I don't know. We'll see.
All right, we'll see. But that was the match. Decent, good fun opener. Next is you had Private Party drinking on the ramp, and then you had the Hurt Syndicate to come out to crash the party. And MVP's like, "No, we're not here to cause any problems. We just want to drink." And then they're about to make a toast, and then MVP is like, "A toast to winning those tag team titles," to which Private Party looked mad, which didn't make any sense why they would be mad, but whatever. Then you go to the match and Bobby Lashley and Mark Briscoe, which was a fine match, but for the most part it's Bobby Lashley just wrecking Mark Briscoe, which I said on Twitter, seeing Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin murder people in AEW pleases me. This pleased me. Nothing against Mark Briscoe. I do like Mark Briscoe, but I like Bobby Lashley murdering people even more. So that was that.
I don't think you should say murder and Briscoe in the same sentence.
No, I said people. I'm not saying murder Mark Briscoe. I like that this is actually a fun match, but I'm saying people, not murdering Mark Briscoe. Okay, I won't say murder. How's about wrecking? Oh no, that's probably a bad analogy. Jesus Christ. Hurting people, like the Hurt Syndicate, like the rap song that he says in the.
Let's move on. You're taking yourself
we hurt people. We hurt people.
Oh my God.
Oh Jesus Christ. But
oh no.
All in all, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Oh God.
That was funny.
It was.
I mean, not funny, but Jesus, yeah, you know what I mean.
Men's Casino Gauntlet for an AEW World Championship opportunity. The entry order for this match was Jay White, Hangman Page, Wheeler Yuta, Ricochet, Adam Cole, Daniel Garcia, Powerhouse Hobbs, Roderick Strong, Lance Archer, Kyle O'Reilly, and Jeff Jarrett. This was good for what it was. It wasn't bad. Kind of figured out where I was gonna go. Daniel Garcia got no reaction from anybody in the crowd. Jeff Jarrett got a
Well,
big.
I mean, yes, but he's also the fucking TNT champion. No one knows he's gonna fucking win. Like, okay, he wins this. He ain't gonna beat I mean, none of these guys are gonna beat Moxley, but still, it's like stupid.
Right. Jeff Jarrett got a big reaction, obviously, because they're in Tennessee. He got taken out by Wheeler Yuta.
He's doing his John Cena farewell tour too.
Right. Are you more hyped for that than John Cena?
No, because I want him just to be like at the end of the year, he's like, you thought I was going somewhere at the end of the year? Well, I ain't going nowhere. I'm back, baby.
I'm the king of the mountain, baby. Daddy Magic had the quote of the night: Wheeler Yuta can ruin a wet dream. And couldn't have said it better myself. Hobbs wins the match, so Hobbs will face Jon Moxley.
Pleasantly surprised on that too.
I'm sorry?
I say I'm pleasantly surprised on that too.
I am too. I like Hobbs.
Yeah.
I kind of hope this is the way going forward with AEW. It's like, let's give other guys opportunities and let's try to.
I would not hold my breath.
I know. I'm cautiously optimistic, and by cautiously, capital C, capital A, and you know what I mean.
Until I actually see it, you know what I mean.
But good for Hobbs. He'll be wrestling Jon Moxley and
Maximum Carnage.
What happened to your mic?
I don't know what happened. And then afterwards, Jeff Jarrett comes out to the ring to cut a promo, and then MJF comes out to basically cut his usual MJF shtick and tell Jeff Jarrett, you're a has-been, blah, blah, blah. You only signed a 1-year contract, blah, blah, blah. But I can get you back to the mountain. All you got to do is work for me. And then Jeff Jarrett tells MJF, I'm not working for you, baby. I'm back, baby. Well, he didn't say that, but he just told MJF, you're an entitled prick. I'm not going to work for you. I'm going to do it on my own. So I guess we're having an MJF Jeff Jarrett program. Cool.
Dude, I have no idea.
Question mark. Yeah, that happened. Next is you had Cope come out. The rated R superstar Cope. Not Adam Copeland, not Edge for copyright reasons, but Cope. Oh boy. He comes out, and here's the thing about Edge. I like Edge. I've always been a fan of Edge. I will acknowledge the obvious about Edge is that he became a star in an era where there weren't really any stars.
You're talking about during Road to Discretion.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
This is a time when Brock Lesnar was gone. Batista was kind of in and out because he was always hurt. And Cena was on top, and Orton was kind of in the mix, kind of plug and play at times. Then you had Triple H, and then you had Shawn Michaels, but they're kind of
and Jeff Hardy. Yeah.
Jeff Hardy. Yeah, I think Jeff Hardy. He did an interview recently where he said he thought he could have been just as big as Cena if he stayed clean. And I agree. Like Jeff, I thought.
Yeah. People love Jeff Hardy.
Oh yeah, like I thought Jeff was just as big as Cena, but he just couldn't stay out of his own
Probably
way.
not to the point of like mainstream as far as like him like doing movies and shit like that.
Yeah.
But like, I think so. I think he had a point there for sure.
Right. But yeah, what was I talking about? Yeah, Cope. Someone on Twitter, I gotta give him credit. Carl Lewis, who's a follower. Shout out to him if he's listening. He pointed out that Edge, since he's come back in the past 5 years, he essentially cuts the same promo, where it's just him grinding his teeth and yelling, and then talking really low, and then yelling, and then saying grit, and then talking about how he broke his neck. And it's like, yeah, you're right. The crowd was dead for this segment. Like they were like this is the best way to use the word dead. Like this they were dead for this segment. They did not care about this promo. They definitely didn't care about the Death Riders. Like, they really don't care about the Death Riders. They do not care about Moxley. Um, I mean, I know I was kind of ragging on Seth earlier, but at least Seth is over. At least he gets over with his theme song, and Roman is over. Mox is really not over, and yeah, but yeah, this segment was kind of bleh, and by bleh I mean BAD bad. So, but you didn't see this, right?
No.
Basically, the Death Riders came out, and FTR came out and leveled the playing field, so to speak. Moxley put Seth in, not Seth, Cope in his, I guess his death lock or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But yeah, that was a bad segment, a very bad segment. Jesus.
Okay. Well, I'll take your word for that, for sure.
All right. Let's see what happened next. Yeah, the Casino #1 spot gauntlet for the Women's Championship. You had Willow Nightingale versus Chris Statlander versus Toni Storm. I thought this was a fine match. Who the fuck won? Oh, Statlander won. Kind of wanted Willow to win, but whatever. Storm's still doing her, I guess, her amnesia gimmick, where she doesn't remember being timeless Toni Storm.
Great, love it.
And after she lost the match, she's given like this very aw shucks, babyface promo where she's like, I need to do better, blah blah blah. And then Renee just kind of has this bewildered look on her face, like what the fuck's going on? So cool. And yeah, it was a fine match. I mean, I like Willow. I think you and me both like Willow. Statlander is...
Yeah, I mean, from the women that you were saying in the match, yeah, I mean, I like all the women.
Statlander, I do like. It's just, it's kind of...
I don't think there's no one I really dislike in wrestling. Yeah, I can... I don't really like someone I really dislike.
Right.
That's just me. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't...
But,
it's kind of hard for me to dislike wrestlers. Yeah. I mean, unless you're like Hulk Hogan. Yeah.
So the show ends with Kenny Omega coming back after being out for 13 months due to diverticulitis.
By the way, I know you didn't see this, but I did watch most of Wrestle Dynasty. Saw a match between him and Gabe Kidd. It's fucking an awesome match. Love it.
I heard. And
it's an awesome match.
I know. I saw you were watching. I believe RJ was watching it as well. I heard good things. That's about it. I know the Young Bucks are the tag team champions because
yeah, Tony Khan. Like I don't know what the fuck's going on with this partnership, but I guess. I mean, you put the titles on the Young Bucks. I mean, I guess. I mean, because New Japan doesn't really have a tag team division right now anyway. So,
All right. But Kenny Omega's back, and good. It's good for AEW that Kenny Omega's back.
Yeah.
He came out, cut a good promo. He got a good, babyface, human promo, where he talks about, getting diverticulitis, and I think he said he got like a chunk of his liver or something taken off. Which I know Brock Lesnar, he got the same thing, the diverticulitis, which that almost killed him. And gives I don't want to say by the numbers, but like it was kind of a basic, the doctor told me I would never wrestle again, and I wouldn't be the same Kenny Omega I was again. It was like it worked. In this case, it worked.
Right.
And Kenny, when Kenny, I think I say this for a lot of people, when Kenny talks like a human, it works. When he tried to do his like cleaner, I'm the best wrestling artist in the world promo, for me it just didn't work. It sounded kind of dorky. In this case, when he sounds like a human, it works. To me, it works. Yeah, it was a good promo. Don Callis comes out and tries to spoil it. and then Kenny chases him and starts beating him up, and then Brian Cage and Lance Archer take turns, or no, Kyle Fletcher as well. They come out and they beat up Kenny, and then Ospreay comes out and helps out Kenny, and that's how Dynamite ends. So
I see Kenny versus Ospreay at All In Australia.
yeah, it makes sense. That seems like the money match. But
Yeah, for sure.
overall, not a terrible episode of Dynamite. It was.
What was with the did you hear like Ricochet's new theme song?
I didn't. No, I didn't hear it. What was it?
I can't even explain it to you.
Please explain it to me. I want to know.
But you'll just have to look it up. I just can't even explain it to you. It has his laugh at the beginning and all that. It's
God.
he's like all that shit. I can't explain it to you, man.
Oh God. Is it as bad as having the Pointer Sisters? I'm so excited. Be the intro.
I think, man, yes, they're both bad.
God. I mean, was It's Raining Men not available? Like fuck. But yeah. I guess. Would you happen to have any news?
News? No news. No, I have one thing that ties into what we're doing in a second.
All right. I guess another news tidbit, AEW related. JoJo, Bray Wyatt's, the widow of Bray Wyatt. She's apparently working with AEW.
Yeah, good for her. She's getting back into wrestling. That's happy for her. That's awesome.
I'm happy for her as well. Good for her. So, but that's all.
Yeah, apparently, people were getting confused with her and Samantha Irvin for some dumbass reason.
Again, just people trying to start shit. Just AEW fans trying to, not even just AEW fans, just wrestling fans in general.
Oh, I don't think it has nothing to do with just AEW fans, just dumb fucking people.
Right. I mean, they were doing that with the fucking Netflix on Raw. Like, you're already seeing people talking shit. Where it's like, this show's for babies. It's like, fuck you. Shut up.
I mean, those people those are the same people they don't know how to make money and they don't understand it.
Nope.
Like, if you don't like it, don't watch it. That's it. Just don't watch it. You don't have to watch it. No one's forcing you to watch it.
Yeah, it's just like, again, you have I call them virgins. I call them virgins on Twitter that do the whole, oh, this show only had 35 minutes of wrestling. It's like, oh, fuck off. Like, stop. Go touch grass.
But once they stop making money from it, then you have a fucking point. But as of right now, I'm not gonna suggest what WWE should do because they know exactly what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. So, what's your news thing?
It's not news. Do you have any news?
Oh, okay. I forgot. Yeah, you were gonna do the predictions thing, right?
It has some, not really. It's kind of in that ballpark. But do you have any traditional news before we move on?
I don't. I mean, I have ratings. I mean, well, Raw's on Netflix, so you can't really get ratings from that.
Right. They were at number one. Well, I did see of 675K viewers or live streamers. I'm not too sure, but yeah.
Right. They're currently number one on Netflix and number 9 worldwide.
Yep.
So, yay. But I can do ratings real quick. Let's see. We can just start with. I guess we'll just begin with the new year. Dynamite from January the 1st drew a 588 and a .16 in the demo. Friday Night SmackDown, the debut of the 3-hour SmackDown, drew a 1.528 and a .45 in the demo on January 3rd. AW Collision drew a 345 and a .9 in the demo. And NXT drew a 957,000 and a .25 in the demo, which the highest ratings they've gotten on CW and their highest rating in general since 2019 when they debuted on network television. So good for them. And that's all I have on ratings.
All right. Well, this kind of goes into kind of sort of what we're doing with predictions here for 2025, but came out a bit earlier today. So, do you know anything about the Korean IWC?
The current IWC.
No, Korean.
Oh, no.
Did you hear about like last year how like they just like shat all over Sol Sokola?
Okay, that's random as shit, but no.
So anyway, you're gonna get a kick out of this. I'm just gonna go over their categories of the Koreans IWC awards for 2024.
Okay.
I'm going to read you. I'm going to start from the bottom and move my way up to the top. I'm just going to read you the category and the winner of that category, and this is all pretty much the worst of.
Okay.
No best of, the worst of. Okay, and all you gotta say is do you agree or not on that on the actual winner or loser of this category. I think you're gonna love this. Yeah, I'm not saying that like to be funny. You are gonna love this because it's. Oh man, here we go. Worst entrance, Jon Moxley.
Okay.
Do you agree or disagree?
Sure, I'll agree.
All right. Botch of the year. Adam Page sneaks out early during Jay White versus Christian Cage.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, that was. I mean, would you really call that a botch or just a miscue?
Yeah, I just consider that maybe more of a miscommunication, but
Yeah,
okay.
it was fun though.
Worst heel turn, Jon Moxley.
I mean, yeah, because it doesn't really make any sense. It still doesn't make any sense, but sure.
Worst face turn, Adam Cole.
I mean, I don't know if I'll call it worse. It just happened. Yeah. Sure.
Worst main event of the year, Bryan Danielson versus Jon Moxley, AEW Wrestle Dream 2024.
I would say Jon Moxley versus Orange Cassidy was worse, but sure.
Worst Booker of the year, Tony Khan.
Yes.
Worst part-timer of the year, Adam Copeland.
I'm gonna have to say yes.
Worst event of the year, AEW Wrestle Dream 2024.
Was that the one with Orange Cassidy and Jon Moxley?
No, that was the Jon Moxley and the Bryan Danielson.
Okay. Didn't see it, but I heard it sucked.
Okay. Worst brand of the year, AEW.
Yes.
Worst theme of the year, It's Our Moment, DIY. The DIY theme.
I don't know if I would call that bad. It's just very generic.
Okay. Worst news of the year, I don't know. Worst news? AEW releases all-in London security footage.
I mean, it's more of a promotional tactic, but
Yeah.
sure.
Worst gimmick of the year, Jon Moxley.
What's his gimmick, though?
Dude.
like
I don't know.
A racist Mr. Clean? Like, what the fuck is he?
I don't know. All right, well, worst move of the year, Jon Moxley's sleeper hold.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to see more
I think
moves.
they meant to say rear naked choke or something, but his sleeper hold, I guess.
I don't know. I don't like when Obafemi does that like power bomb, but it's like more of a throw. I like the fact that he does a Batista bomb. So, anyways, continue.
I mean,
I can't
I
really.
don't know. I don't know what this is supposed to mean. I don't know what this category is. I don't know. This is again the Korean IWC worst categories for 2024. I have no idea what this category is. I don't even know. I don't even know if I agree or not with this. Christian Awards.
Like,
Chad Gable dead from White 6 debut. I have no idea what the fuck that means. Christian Awards. That's the name of the category. Christian Awards.
oh, okay.
Chad Gable dead from White 6 debut. I don't even know what that means.
By Christian, I'm guessing like the religion.
I have fucking no clue.
Oh, continue, because I'm morbidly
I have
curious.
no idea. Most underrated of the year, which is possibly the most positive of all these categories here. Most underrated of the year, Chad Gable.
Okay.
Most overrated of the year,
John Moxley.
Jon Moxley.
Agreed.
I know you do. Worst non-wrestler of the year, Tony Khan.
But what?
Not most worst non-wrestler of the year, Tony Khan.
I mean, he only did like what, one segment where Jungle Boy kicked him in the balls? Okay, whatever. Continue.
Do you agree or no?
I mean, what other non-wrestlers have done bad segments this year? If you can think about them.
Worst mic worker of the year, Kazuchika Okada.
I don't really. All I know is that he says bitch in his promos. That's really all I know about his mic work this year.
Worst newcomer of the year, Kazuchika Okada.
Wait, newcomer?
Yeah, newcomer.
He's been around for like 10 fucking years, like, or longer.
He's been around for like getting close to 20 years. I think what they meant like to a new company.
Okay, like I don't know how to answer that personally. So
Again, this is the Korean IWC Awards, worst categories. We got a couple more here. Worst catchphrase of the year, and I never heard him say this ever. Maybe, okay, I have heard him say this, but I don't think this is his catchphrase. This is not, if you smell what the rock is cooking. This is not, I'm better than you and you know it. This is not, and that's the bottom line. But the worst catchphrase of the year from the Korean IWC Awards is Death Jitsu, Jon Moxley.
what? Yeah, I've never. I know I'm just now starting to watch AEW more. I don't think I've ever heard Jon Moxley say that.
It was just a Hey Jon Moxley campaign.
Hey, my
worst feud of the year. Bryan Danielson versus Jon Moxley.
I was gonna say this is my kind of list. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. You're gonna love this list. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree that was the worst feud of the year?
I mean, yeah, because the heel turn made no sense, and Jon Moxley's new character still doesn't make any sense. Like, he gives these promos that just sound like he's giving a bunch of exposition in an indie like A24 movie.
Worst moment of the year: Jon Moxley choking Bryan Danielson with a plastic bag.
I mean, it caused a lot of. It did maybe cause the wrong attention or right attention, however you choose to do it. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think if WWE had any worse moments. I know they did. I'm just trying to think of what they were. But I don't know. I don't know. I can't really say that's the worst moment.
Right. Right.
Personally, but I don't know.
Gotcha. Worst match of the year: Jay versus Jimmy Uso, WrestleMania 40.
Oh yeah, that was bad.
Worst worker of the year:
Jon Moxley.
Yes, John Moxley. Worst worker of the year is John Moxley. Jesus Christ. Here we go. We're continuing on. Worst champion of the year.
Let me guess. John Moxley.
As the IWGP champion, John Moxley, yes.
Whoever wrote this list, I want to have a beer with you.
Jesus fucking Christ, man. Worst babyface of the year.
Let me guess. Let me just stretch real quick. There you go. Is it John Moxley?
Is it who?
I was trying to whisper. John Moxley.
Yes. The worst heel of the year.
John
Moxley. Worst tag team of the year.
Is it John Moxley?
No, but you're in your own ballpark right now.
Worst intergender champion, John Moxley. Worst tag team of the year? Fuck. Oh, Young. Huh?
No, sorry. Go ahead.
Young Bucks.
It's the Young Bucks.
Oh God. Did you make this list for me just to make?
No, I did not. As soon as I saw this list, I was like, "Oh yeah, Drew's gonna love every single one of these here."
Oh man.
Worst female wrestler of the year.
John Mox. No, I'm playing. Worst female wrestler. Maxine.
No.
Is it WWE or AEW?
It's AEW.
Is it Mercedes?
Yeah, which I know she didn't have like the best year, but the worst female wrestler, that's 100% inaccurate.
To the person who wrote this list, please DM me on Twitter so we can speak immediately. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's not right. There's way worse women's wrestlers than Mercedes, and even at that too, her character work has been shit. But she's been playing good wrestling matches. So having her as worst female wrestler of the year is completely inaccurate. Worst male wrestler of the year. Yes, it's John Moxley.
Are you sure it's not Mon Joxley?
God, Jesus fucking Christ, man. What was this list?
I thought it was the greatest list I ever heard. The IWC in Korea, you made a fan out of me.
Well, last year most of these were all Soul Sokola related. Now this is all John Moxley related.
I commend you, sirs or madams or theys or thems.
Yeah. So last year they were really hating on WWE. This year they're really hating on AEW. So
that sounds like my kind of people.
There's no tribalism in wrestling. What are you talking about?
Only when it caters to my needs. I'm playing. But is that all?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to do the predictions?
Sure, let's knock them out.
All right.
Yeah, 5 predictions for 2025 here. We'll go back and forth with each other. So, you want to start first?
Sure. Do you want to go like in order or just like do all 5 of ours in like?
No, we'll go back and forth. I'll do a prediction. You do a prediction.
All right. My first prediction, somebody from AEW will defect to WWE. Whoever that is will happen. Whether it's Ricky Starks.
That's not fun. We know that's gonna happen. We know someone from WWE is gonna go to AEW too.
All right, let me do something less obvious.
This is why I said for mine. Because I have the same thing, but a little different. I said one big name will leave both major companies. So a big name. So I'm not saying this is going to happen with WWE. Like, for example, Seth Rollins going to AEW, MJF coming to WWE, something like that. But like, if we're talking about, Ricky Starks is going to WWE and, Sheamus is going to, AEW. Well, that could definitely happen,
Okay.
But I got one big name, top guy, top in the realm of top guys, former world champions, whatever the case may be, One name will go to AEW. One name will go to WWE.
Okay. All right. Let me hear yours first. Your predictions.
Well, I just went.
Okay. My prediction is that NXT and CW will crack at least 1 million once this year.
All right. Mine is, and all these for me is like more like bold predictions. So yeah, make it a little bit more fun. My second one is Dom Mysterio will become the next big babyface.
Okay. Let's see. I think Rhea Ripley will be a heel by the end of the year. Heel again, I'm sorry.
Right. Next for me, my third one here is that WWE will start something international, where it's a new promotion, a partnership, like an official partnership, kind of like what they did with TNA, right? Where you see talent coming over. So wherever that may be, I think they will start like a new NXT Mexico, NXT Japan, or a new official partnership with a international promotion.
I think Karrion Kross will be a champion, whether it's a world champion or intercontinental champion.
Fair. This is possibly the biggest one of all. Roman Reigns will have a losing record in 2025. That's a bold prediction right there.
I can see that happening.
What's your fifth one?
5. I thought I did 3.
No, you did. Someone's gonna leave WWE to AEW or whatever, or AEW to WWE. You did the Karrion Kross. You did the Rhea Ripley turning heel. And what was your fourth one?
I don't think I've done my fourth one. Wait, no. I did. Yeah, NXT will crack 1 million.
Yeah.
And for my fourth one, I think Jeff Jarrett will be a champion in AEW by the end of the year.
I got AEW will have a significant better 2025 than 2024.
Nice. All right. Those are our predictions. Hopefully at least some of them will come true by our year-end show. Yep. So speaking of big shows, I did the math, and we're getting close to episode 400. So by February 5th, will be the 400th episode. So, that's pretty awesome. So I need to work out and see who's going to be on that show. I'll try to see if I can get some of the guys on there. But episode 400 is coming up.
It's a huge milestone.
Yes, sir. 400 episodes. That's more episodes than MASH. So we're better than MASH, people. I'm playing. But anyways, people, it was a fun opener. Fun opening show for the new year, for 2025. Let's try to make this year, even more fun than the previous year. So let's go all out, people. But just our social media handles: Twitter X, DY Experience, Spreaker is the home base for the show. You can also find us on YouTube. Like I mentioned, we got a few new subscribers. Welcome to anyone who's listening and watching. So it'll be much appreciated if you can go over to the YouTube channel and subscribe, like, and comment, and tell a friend, and then they'll tell a friend to subscribe to The Experience, where you can see us every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern. So there's that. And the show is available pretty much everywhere else where podcasts are available: Spotify and iTunes, what have you. And that's enough out of me. What about you, Justin?
You guys want to find me? Spinebuster Tees, SpinebusterTees.com. Get yourself a t-shirt design sent to you. Takes about a week and a half to get sent to you. Always have things on the website for you guys to check out. So do that. Spinebuster Tees on Instagram. Follow me there, where you can keep up to date what I have going on inside of my business, my shop, which at Spinebuster Tees at the Wonderland of the Americas. Come and get you a wrestling T-shirt, Funko Pop, action figure, Lucha Libre mask, socks, hats. Literally anything that you can find yourself into pro wrestling, you can find it there inside my shop. But that's again at Spinebuster Tees at Wonderlands of the Americas, Spinebuster Tees on Instagram, and SpinebusterTees.com.
All right, people. We are done, and we will be back next week, same time, same channel. And yeah, all I can say is stay warm. Anyone that's living in San Antonio and Texas in general, we're getting a cold front. And,
well, I mean, yeah, just not just in Texas, but just all over the country. I mean, it's a huge cold front.
And anyone living in California, our thoughts are with you. There's some big fires coming out. So if you're listening, we're with you. We got your back, and we hope everything's all right. That's the best I can say. But we will see you next week, people. Same time, same channel, and peace out.
Peace.